Hello. Hi guys, how are you?
Hi.
Good,
Hi,
good.
good evening. Good evening.
Hi.
How are you, Lindy?
Good.
Hello,
Yeah,
ladies. Hello, Lindy.
we're
Hello.
missing. Who are
Happy
we missing?
Women's Month, ladies.
Yay!
Happy Women's Month. Hi, Mommy.
It's been a month full of activity. So happy Women's Month, everyone.
Thank you.
Yes.
Happy Women's Month to you, ladies, as well. You're looking so beautiful and gorgeous.
Hey,
Ooh, thank
those
you.
are cute.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
look at Usam. She is all on point.
Okay, so welcome guys. This is the first time I'm hosting a choir. There's a reason somewhere. I'm not sure if it's on the side. But this is the first time I'm hosting a choir, and I see we have guests. Hi, hello. So I'm not sure where the feedback is coming from.
I don't know.
Okay. So please, guys, say hi to everyone. Tell the guests that they look pretty and all.
Everyone.
Okay. So we called this conversation, obviously, because here on hold we have conversations, because it's Women's Month and we wanted to have a different conversation. I get it, as women, and there's an echo.
There's an echo, Lindy.
There's an echo, yes.
Could it be somebody's laptop?
Okay, let's just see. So so as women, we know we have many problems, lots of problems. Some problems are historical, some problems are systematic, some problems are financial, some problems are men. So lots and lots of Sam and
Yeah,
Mula, like when you say men, they're like poison,
Decline.
decline.
flight mode.
But I think today's conversation is about we are also each other's problems as women, and especially with different generations and all. We are each other's issues and problems. Sometimes we're each other's strengths and maybe opportunities. But because it's Women's Month, we're gonna talk to each other and see what we can do better or where it goes wrong. Because dynamics change. We always feel like your generation is the best one. I'm sure Ishi will feel like that to say when she was in her 20s, she was whatever. There was no such thing as what. And then Letabo will complain and say, but why did we need that? So because we misunderstand each other or because we think our own generations are the best ones, then we kind of like so I think that's what we wanted to talk about to say, okay, fine. What is the issue with each other and what can we do to get better or to actually make things a little bit better? Cool. Yeah, we're good.
Happy.
All right. So I want to
Happiness.
start with the 20s Letabo. I see Mike just jumped off. Maybe she'll try and come back again. You the youngest in the group here, and then you're in your 20s, right? Yeah. So if I think about my 20s, when I turned 20, I already had a marriage proposal. At 22, 23, I was getting.
What?
Yes. You see, you're judging me. You're judging me. This is the problem.
That's the issue.
Yeah. Judgmental issues.
Yeah.
So I already had a marriage proposal, an informal one. At 22, 23, I was getting married, like literally. 25, I was having my first baby. 26, I was having my second baby. And then I don't know what happened the rest of the years till I turned
Mm,
30.
mm.
So what are you guys doing? How do you feel about that? And how's your generation feeling like? How have you experienced your 20s?
Okay. Hi, everyone. Um, Thank you, Sislinde, for the invitation. It's quite a lot of pressure right now. I'm so hacked that they can't be joining me because now I feel like I'm carrying the 20s on my shoulders. But it's my
Ah,
experience, and I think, we're all here and we can all relate in one way or another. So, what you've just described, I think, is not something that is too strange, actually. It's very common currently in our 20s to feel like that's exactly where our lives are supposed to be. We're
Mm,
supposed to be starting our families, we're supposed to,
mm, which
um,
is wrong.
basically becoming, the head of a household in some aspects. But for my own experience, I do have people around me who have had, that happen. So I've just been a witness to such pleasures, and
Mm,
children are a blessing at the end of the day. But that's not
mhm.
been my journey as yet. I've been really
Amen.
focused on school. That's something that is some is has been a priority only because I'm trying to, before I get to that stage in my life where I'm starting a family, I feel there are certain things that I need to do, and there are certain pressures that I put on myself, but also society,
Mm, mm,
that has placed on me to kind of make sure that there are certain things that I'm taking care of before I get to that part. So my
mm,
journey, for the most part, has really been about ensuring that I'm getting an education. Um, and it also looks like me taking care of myself in terms of trying to get a job, and so that I'm financially stable first before I get
mm,
into a formal relationship. Uh, that looks like starting a life and building a family with someone else. I think right now I'm still very much concerned with where I am. I'm trying to build a career for myself, and I think
mm,
alongside people who are starting families in their 20s, there is also a big pool of us who are really just trying to, make ends meet in a lot of ways.
mm,
Um,
mm,
and it's not to say that we don't want those things for ourselves, but I think for myself, for as much as I can, even though it hasn't been easy, I've been trying to kind of, put things in plan, um, that will make me to be in a position that I can take care of someone other than myself. Yeah.
mm. They said to me, a man is gonna give me their life. That's why
yeah.
I went that way.
No, understood. Understood. I've got aunts, I've got mothers who've been in that situation as well. So I think, as I said, it's not a strange concept. It's not a strange concept at all. Yeah.
Okay. And then Mule and Sam, you guys are in your 30s. Okay, mine, 30s. That's when then I divorced. I think Mule, your side is the one with the feedback.
Is it mine? Let me mute
Mute
and
for
then
now.
I'll talk.
Yeah, yeah. 30s, I got divorced. Litabo, don't stress about me. Then, then I think in my 30s, I'm still in my 30s, last, one more month, and then I'm out. And then I got 2 degrees. I bought 2 properties. So my 30s, I think, were your 20s, but it just happened the other way around. You see. Okay, Mule.
Hi guys, hi ladies. Look beautiful. I'm laughing at Letabo because I was writing a letter. I'm planning on writing a letter to my 20s. And it's one of the things that you're encouraged to do when you're like going through a process of just finding yourself. And my 30s were or are, because I just got into my 30s. I sat when I turned 31 and I said, oh, actually, 20s was just like a head start. It was just a practice run for what's coming. And we were stressing, thinking, yo, by 30, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm sure most of us can relate. By 30, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to have a house. I'm going to have a car. I'm gonna have this, that. And then you get to 30 and life is like, hi, you're just starting. So my 30s personally, they're amazing because it's adulting has begun for me. So I have a similar background to Lindy's. I went to varsity, but I had already met my husband when I was 19, when I was 20, and had kids and was building a family in my 20s. So my 30s now are about me, which is very interesting because now when you sit back and you look back at 20, like I shouldn't have stressed as much as I did in my 20s because everything will fall into place the way it needs to. So the 30s are, yeah, it's gonna go, every day. Because I
Yeah, and
think it's
you've just entered and you still have a long way. And the 30s are long,
absolutely.
guys. Why do they take so long?
I'm 32 and it feels like forever, but it's that I think it's a squeezing of you need to get through the uncomfortable so that once you hit your 40s, 50s, you're in a space where you know yourself and you're comfortable. It's the only way. It's like a rebirth of yourself. And especially as a woman, I don't know if any of you can relate, but my 30s feel like a rebirth of my adult life.
Sam, are you back?
Can I ask a
I'm
question
back. Can
to
you hear me?
We can. Letaba wants to ask a question.
and to
Okay.
lead into it actually? Do you think you feel like that, or maybe will it just directly to your question? Do you feel like you're just starting your 30s because you lived, in your 20s?
No,
We
so
were not alive in our 20s.
not even not aligned. So now I look back, you have to go through certain experiences, right? In order to understand who you are. But your 30s are calling you to your adult life. So a lot of the things that will happen from 30 going up is essentially growing you into your adult life. So instead of fighting it, it's about embracing it. And it's similar to 20s. A lot of the times in the 20s, you want to fight a lot of the stuff that's going to happen naturally in life, but it's bringing you to your adult life. So the essence of like, don't fight the 20s and don't stress because there's going to be a lot of changes. By the time you turn 30, you'll be a completely different Letabo to who you are now.
Okay.
Are you stressing, Letaba? Willie, you're on mute again now. Can't hear you. Okay. Sam, we've lost Sam, but Sam will come back.
Okay.
Okay. I said like it's just a month, 1 month, September. October, I'm in the 40s. But I don't know, Pam and Nati. I don't know. It looks like you guys are having fun there. What's going on?
Hey.
What's
Yeah, yeah.
going on there?
Fourth floor.
Fourth
Welcome
floor. Your kids are in
to
matric.
what?
Your
Fourth floor
children
is
are
fun.
graduating,
Fourth floor
getting
is
married.
fourth floor is fun. This is where life begins. Most people say life begins at 40. So Lindy, we're waiting for you. We'll welcome you to fourth floor. It's a beautiful place to be in. We are residents here and we are happy. We are embracing ourselves. We are aging gracefully here. Life is fun.
No, I couldn't agree with you more, Nati. Honestly, I'm in my mid 40s and I'm like, it's such a graceful age where I'm like, you can't tell me anything. Yeah, as much as we should embrace lifelong learning also, obviously in our personal lives as well as in our professional lives. But I mean it in a context that I have earned my stripes, so I'm at an age where, like
Yes.
45, where I'm saying, you know what, I know who I am. I am not mistaken, in terms of the spaces that I occupy and where I operate. And I think, this age, you are no longer impressionable, right? And you are no longer really phased about pleasing people and what people think about you or of you. and you're just who you are, and you move with people that move with you, and those that don't, it's okay,
Mm.
different strokes for different folks. So
Yeah.
I think you mellow into yourself, because then you reflect on your 20s, you reflect on your 30s. I've listened to Litabo and then Mule, and
Mm.
I think my 20s was very volatile. I had a child at 19. So it was quite a volatile stage. I was very, very rebellious in in my early 20s. And then I think I actually found my feet, when I moved into my 30s. So because of those experiences, you go through things and then you learn from certain things and you make mistakes and you move on. And then when you get to the fourth floor, you're like, you know what, I've got this. It's okay. Yeah, so I think just be kind to yourselves, ladies. But again, like I said, life, you should embrace also the notion of lifelong learning, because even as much as you're in your mid 40s, you still need to get into your 50s, of course. But I
Mm.
think you are more assured of who you are as a human being, and what it is that you stand for and where you are going, and but also you look at the generations that are still coming after you, and you really also don't want to impose your assertiveness that comes with being in the 40s. So just really being open-minded and willing to embrace how other people view life, especially now, because life has evolved so much. There's so much influence around technology and all of those things that maybe they were not heightened, about 2 or 3 decades ago. So you also have to then embrace that aspect as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's,
Neo says fourth floor is amazing. I
mm-hmm.
now understand how the Israelites felt as soon as they got to the promised land.
It is. It feels like it.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Oh, no, no.
Okay,
A
so
whole lot of ladies get their groove back at
Nomsa
50.
says Nomsa says wait till you get to the fifth floor. Nancy, what's
Ooh.
going on there?
Ooh.
Hey, Lindy.
I'm ready for that fifth floor.
Yo, guys, Lindy, as you are asking Yogoti what's happening on the fifth floor. Litabo, you did you know what, you have got so much going for you, Stando-san. When I look at the young people in my environment at the workplace, right?
Mm,
They are, I envy them because they know exactly what they want in their 20s. So when they get to their 30s and their 40s, I can already see the progression in their lives because
Mm,
they have got it all mapped out. Unlike, when I was in my 20s, I had to grow up very, very fast. And then in my 20s, I was very assertive as to where I'm seeing myself. And as Mule had said, you know what, you've already, scaled your life. You're going to, by this age, this is what I want. By that age, this is what I want. And are you getting to that? It's only you that know you are the architect of that destiny where you want to be at. So I went through those phases. I went to the 30s and I went through the 40s and I'm on the 50s. And I tell you guys, the 50s was awesome. It was absolutely beautiful because now you know exactly who you are. Now you know exactly what you want.
mm.
And now I'm in my 60s, guys. I just turned my
Wow.
60. So
oh,
being on that
Yes.
sixth floor, ne, I actually don't feel it. I really
yeah.
and truly just don't feel it because
Mm,
it's how you feel as an individual. And it's
yeah.
how, where you've been to where you're at. And Pam, you couldn't have said it any better, that be content with you. Be
Yes.
content with what you are. Be content with where you are and about your accomplishments. So we
Yeah.
go through all of those phases in our lives in order for us to realize that we've made the mistakes in the 20s, we rectify in the 30s, we go to the 40s, and then when we finally get to that age whereby you say, guys, I've ran my race, I am now enjoying my life.
Now
So
that
as you
wow.
progress, go for it, guys. Go for it, my beauties.
What
Thank
are you
you.
So,
doing,
Lindy,
Eva?
there's nothing to worry about the 40s and the 50s. Aye, it's smooth sailing. Angithi so uyazi ukuthi bekwenzakalani back then. Manje going forward, hayi uyahamba ke girl, uyanaba. Ngenyawo lonwabo. Enjoy it.
Miguel.
Don't you? Do you still have the energy to have fun in those
Ah, you
fifties?
mean in
Hey.
your 50s? Bona Lindy, that is you know what? Angithi they say life starts at 40, ne?
Mm.
Mm.
Yes, life starts at 40 because now you know exactly what is ahead and you are envisaging to go and see places that you've always dreamt of when you get
Mm.
to the 50s. You understand?
Mm.
Now
Mm.
you are saving towards what you want in the 50s. And then you
Mm.
go and you have what you want.
That's true. True.
Mm.
I
I
hear.
hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And we mature, Lindy, we mature like fine wine. Okay?
Ah,
Like this.
Okay, I have a cold. Not
okay.
happy when
I
you
wish
do
I
that.
had some. I don't have any on my side, but it's okay.
Yeah, mine too.
I
We were never told.
Yo, I'm actually
Okay, so now here's
really
the
managed to join.
so
I
here's
just
the
want to
thing
ask a
now.
question.
Everybody feels
Yes,
yes, yes,
yes.
yes.
Oh, yes. I wanted to ask Umama ukuthi, you know what? Some of us felt lost at some stage in life where you are actually unsure of where you are going, what is it that you want to do. So I just want to find out when exactly would you say you're supposed to know where you should be or what you should be doing in life? At what age would you say it's a perfect age for a person to actually know what do you want in life? Where are you supposed to be?
My dear, there is no age whereby you can actually identify as to where you want to be in life. My opening statement was that we are all the architects of our own destinies, right? And then when you set your goal for yourself where you want to go, you should not be pressured because some of us are being pressured by society to get married, to have children, as much as when you do not want to be there as yet. You can do what you want, what is going to make you happy. You don't have
Yeah.
to be, in a situation whereby society decides for you, and also
Yeah.
whereby your family dictates to you as to uzochata manje, uzoba nabantwana, and you need to tell yourself what you want. So there isn't really an age factor whereby you are going to be in a situation where you are dictated to. Do not be dictated to, and do not be bullied into what you don't want to do.
I think
I
Thank
hope
we
you
that
for
makes
that.
sense.
I
It
think we on
does.
the
And
same.
yes, ma'am. So I was saying that makes a lot of sense. And the reason I'm asking this is because I'm one of those people. I felt like I was late in life. And the reason I say I felt like I was late was because I looked at my peers, people that I've been with in the same school. They have graduated, they are working, things look like they're going well for them. And I'm here still trying to figure out what exactly I want to do. So I just recently started doing my law course. So this is my second year and I'm 29. And I'm like, people my age have graduated already. So am I late or what's happening? So that's why I actually wanted to know, Guti, is it okay to hope and keep working or what's happening?
Maite, Bravo. Well done, girl, that you have got that courage to continue studying. And at the end of the day, you are one of those that we call the late bloomers. You do not compete with the other people, compete with yourself. I always remind myself that I am my own competitor. I'm not going to compete with any other person but myself. So well
Just
done
to,
to you, my dear.
yeah, just to encourage also, to encourage you, Maite, you know what? Just to, reinforce what Aus is saying is that, your journey and your destiny is your own, right? And the example for that is that I'm 45 and I'm still studying, you know. And so it depends how you start in life, so I studied, but I really then focused on pushing my career right at some point, and then I never then for a couple of years then I neglected my studies, and I was like, okay, fine. Now that I'm out of formal employment, out of corporate, then I realized, oh, actually, you know what? Let me go back to school and study. But while I still work for myself and do business, but what keeps me going is the experience that I acquired in the many, many years, over 20 years of working, right? So there is no right or wrong. There is no the first step or the last step. It's just this is your journey. Embrace where you are, and it's okay. And don't compete or compare yourself with other people, because you also don't know how they got to where they got, right? You might also have other things that they don't have, and they look at you like, oh, I wish I was in my dad's shoes, right? So you just embrace where you are, be grateful, always, always, always practice gratitude, and where you stumble, you pick yourself up, you take the lesson, and you move on, right? So hence I always say to people that I always meet is that life, you can never stop learning, right? So if you embrace the notion of lifelong learning, you can learn through life experiences, you can learn through formal education, you can learn through work experience. It's all part of your life's journey, and it will get you to a certain point where when you get to that point, you're like, I am content with who I am and what I've become, and this is what I still need to do to move forward and live the rest of my life. So that's how life evolves. It's not a revolution, it's a evolution.
Okay, before I ask my next question, Mule, you had a comment for Maite.
Yeah, so it was how you might say. It
Okay,
was
Mule, before you go, this is the Sgora I was telling you about.
what?
So
Not
that's
on
the
live.
Maite's body, guys. You have not seen. Maite is a
Oh
bodybuilder.
yes,
So I don't
mighty.
know what she's worried about starting late, because some of us who started gym, we are still going to start late. Started early.
So even that, right? So I'm gonna share an experience because it's the only thing I have. But my experiences, I've changed careers 3 times. I studied communications. I worked in agencies and corporate companies as in PR, and then from that, I owned a juice business, and then from that, now I cook for a living. I'm only 32. I've had like 5 lives already. I don't know what I'm gonna look like when I get to 50 or 60, but like life is ever changing and ever evolving, right? And there's no one way to know what your true purpose is, but when you're gonna find it along the way. So it's funny that you're saying you don't feel what your purpose is, because when I go through social media, TikTok, whatever it is, a lot of young people in their 20s are either crying about, I have no purpose, people are doing this. And I think it's the age of social media also. I think if we didn't have social media, we wouldn't know what other people our age are accomplishing, right? And we wouldn't have like this bar that's set that we feel we have to reach. So because the age of social media makes us see every single thing except the bad days, we want to sort of put pressure on ourselves to have some sort of purpose at 20. And literally 20 is about finding who you are, because you might change along the way. You're studying law now. As you get to 40, you become a fitness instructor, or you start competing in championships for bodylifting. So, life is going to take you through that process of learning what it is and what that you like and don't like. I was listening to this book that I love, Matthew McConaughey, and he talks about in life there needs to be green lights, yellow lights, and red lights. And if we go through life with green lights only, so if we found our purpose at 20, had a great life at 20, and things seem to be flowing, then there'd never be a moment for us to have a yellow light where we need to pause and stop and think and say, actually, is this what I actually like? Is this where I want to be? Do I like doing this thing? Do I like talking to this person? Do I like sitting with these friends? Do I like this thing that I'm studying? And then you also never have the red lights. So the red lights are the moment for you to stop and actually say, no, 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 no. I need to review and refresh, essentially. So you it's part of the process to feel like this, and it's okay to feel it, so that once you get over the line, you'll see that, hey, Kanti, when I was in my late 20s, I was worried about a degree and where I am and studying. Kanti, I'm going to do something completely different. So life is also funny like that. So I think if you just go with the flow and know, like Ursula's saying, what is it that you want and what's your end goal for this thing? Um, and life around you will respond to that.
Okay. Did you see some of the comments I put up for you?
There's a
Did you
lot of
see?
beautiful comments that's coming up. Well done.
Yeah. So you're on the right track. Don't worry. I'm also on the career I didn't start with. You know. So don't worry. It never. It
Life
never
evolves.
goes straight. It never goes straight. So don't stress. Okay, fine. So we are comfortable. We love where we are. It sounds like we appreciate where we are. We're
Mm-hmm.
happy about the maturity,
Mm-hmm.
because what I heard from the 20s to the 60th is about growth, maturity, comfort, accepting who
Mm-hmm.
you are, letting go of pressures and maybe expectations from people, and kind of like owning who you are. But
Mm-hmm.
even with that, then when you get comfortable in your own space, because we are here to talk about those differences, and then we start worrying and expecting the other generations to be where we are. If you
Yeah.
understand what I mean. So you being in your 40s feeling like I don't care anymore. I've come to my own space. But there
Mm-hmm.
is a Mike and Letabo who are like, I'm not sure. I'm still trying. My career is not. I haven't landed. And we then kind of like feel, what's wrong? Why aren't you, thinking about what you're thinking about, and about whether financially or career wise or whatsoever. So I just want to check. We haven't spoken to Sam yet. Sam, are you connected nicely now?
Yes, yes, I changed. Sorry, guys,
Yeah.
my network.
Because with you, I want the scandals.
Ah, why?
So I just want to see what are those barriers that exist between us as generations. Like, what are those judgments that we still experience, or the progress? Those barriers that make us seem so apart. Because Eshi right now, Letabo could be your Makoti now, or Mule, or
Mm-hmm.
even them or Nati. Because
Yes.
people will say I like them older.
Yes.
And then now you're in a position of power, a power of being a mother-in-law, okay, to another woman, but you see them differently in your context at the time. And what is, how you use your power, how you use your privilege, or things like that. You understand? Just those dynamics. Or maybe Maita now becomes a lawyer and finds me, I'm supposed to mentor, and things like that. I mean, from woman to woman, we do have those barriers to, with each other, man. Sam, help me explain this.
I think it's also it's the gap between generations, Lindy. That the thing is, like I would say, in like Mula would say, in your 20s, you have this plans by 28, I'm gonna be married. By this age, I'm gonna be
Of your first child.
It's time freeze.
all of that.
Network
Can you
is
hear
So we
me?
lost you. Okay, you're back. Yes.
Oh, okay. We have this narrative that's why I say it's a age. It's a gap between the generations because we have this narrative that as women that if if you reach a certain age, you should have achieved certain things, right? But like you now mentioned, I'm in my 30s, and maybe Sis Earth's son is in his 20s. Maybe in my 30s, I want to experience a younger man or date a younger person. So I would expect it from Sis Urge then to mentor me to you understand, because maybe I didn't date or my relationship was a mess in my 20s or certain experiences happened in my 20s, but now in my 30s, I'm fulfilled. I know what I want because in your 20s you experience. In your 30s, I feel you are happy. You know what you want, like Sis Urchin mentioned. So now I want a 25-year-old, a Ben 10, like we would say. And Sis Urchin is gonna say to her son that I you are way too young for this lady. She's in her 30. You should not date her peers. You understand. But what I want from the older generation is to mentor me and coach me. And the thing is, that is where the judgment come in. They judge you based on the age gap that is there, and it should not be there for me. That mutual respect must be there.
So
That
true. When I say right, I tell you what, my youngest son had a relationship with a lady that was far older than what he was, right? And he brought her for me to see her. And do you know what, Mina? I'm this type of person that andizokujaja because I am not going to want what my child wants for himself. I'm going to support you as my son or even as my daughter. I would say to him that as long as you are happy, I will support that. And should there be, challenges, I'm not going to say to him, I told you so. I'm going to ask him, is what went wrong? And if you feel that you are no longer there, then get out. I will support, I will give the guidance, I will coach. And if there are situations where it's beyond my control, I let you be. That's the only thing that I can say. I'm not going to
but
judge you for having a younger boyfriend. At the end of the day, it's what makes you happy. And the support that you
Yes.
get from your person, that is what matters.
but Oshi, we know that that's not
Yeah,
the
yeah,
practicality. Like,
I wanted
what
to
are
say
you
it's more
doing
about the
with my
woman's
yeah.
side.
son?
Nah.
What are you doing with my son? How
What
many
are you
children
doing
do
with
you have?
it?
Woman
How
to
many
woman.
times
And
have
get
you
it,
been
that is what
divorced?
I'll give you.
Linda, I'm talking from my perspective because it happened to me. And I couldn't say to him, hey, wena wenza
Yes.
ngalokoko lona. Angithi uthanda nguyena. Akusi akathandwi yimina. Mina ngizomsupporta because uthandwa nguyena ngithi.
Mm.
That's exactly what I will do. And that's exactly what I did. Because I'm not going to say to him, Aibo, where are you going to with this old woman? No. It's for me to give him the necessary support. If he's happy, I'm happy. You understand?
Nati?
And the relationship between you and the girlfriend now, I think that's where the interesting part would come in for me, because
Hmm.
now you'll be fine with your son, because it's your son and you okay as long as he's happy. However, the relationship between you, or the way you would look at the other woman now, the older woman, because I know I know I'm not perfect, but I would have given her a look, that's the first thing, just to give her a look. This is, and then when so my son, because
Eh,
But
i-comment
who's
kaFidumezi.
giving the look? Is it the son or the girlfriend?
I'm giving a look to the girlfriend, because I'm looking at him thinking, are we same age group or what? Like
But why? Nati, why are you giving her the look?
Why?
because remember, we are socialized in such a way that women of certain age would go with the older man. That's how we are socialized. So it's not something that you'd expect at first instance, you know. So we are socialized that way in our communities that relationships work like. So first time when it happens, I'm being honest. I would have given her a look. I would have been like, and then why? But once you get to meet the person and you spend time with them, then now you
Mm.
get into understanding their relationship. Otherwise, first impressions would be, yeah, would be that look.
And the
But why would
point
you give
is,
the look though, Nati?
no, she's saying because she's socialized not to see that type of situation. And I
Situation.
think what
Oh,
she's
okay.
saying is,
Yeah.
I'm a woman,
That
you're a
is there a
woman.
hierarchy?
Why don't you have a conversation with me and say, all right, welcome, let's just have a because the problem is, you see, that thing about when I get to know you, that thing doesn't
Hmm.
happen or happens after a long time, when you, after
Hmm.
you've been fighting this other woman without having to like give yourself a chance or the grace to open up and say, okay, welcome, fine, let's have our own coffee
Conversation.
date and let me understand
Hmm.
what is there. You get what I mean? Kidumate also
Hmm.
says that go bonkers on him. Woo, these mothers.
You
Jeez.
know,
Yeah.
no, I like the
And you
angle.
know what? Um, the lady wasn't that old, far older than what he was. There was about, I think, 5 year gap. So for me, that was doable.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay. So there was an acceptable age gap. It was not a
Yeah. Well,
mental.
that is different. Yeah.
Yes, it definitely was an acceptable one.
Pam, you were
okay.
about to say something.
No, I was about to say that I think I like the angle that I see. Is it Osi? Or should I?
I see.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
Ashi.
yeah, Eshi, that you are taking, because I think, one thing that maturity, while we are talking about women of other generations, one thing that maturity teaches you as you get older, what it does, it teaches you to suspend your judgment on others, and it teaches you not to impose what society dictates on other people. And what that does is that, let me hear the story. Maybe there's a story behind this. There is maybe something that I'm not aware of. So you like, really, you want to understand, why is Sam, dating someone who's 5 years younger than her, right? What has created that? Whereas then maybe also, but also maturity does not also then necessarily go with age, because you'll also get women that are older, like in their 40s and their 50s, that still
Mm.
judge people. So I'm just talking about maturity also in general, irrespective of age
Mm.
also, is that as you evolve as a human being, is that it's very important that you embrace, you always just learn to suspend your judgment on others, rather seek to understand first, before then you can make your conclusion once you have understood the entire context. So I was just really reinforcing what Esha has said, that what, sometimes what is acceptable or unacceptable in society, really you have to apply it in your own circumstances and understand where the other person is coming from. But of course, there are other instances where people are just being negligent and doing just funny things that generally society frown upon. So when someone is exhibiting reckless or irresponsible behavior, and we can all see that, and then, I mean, we need to then talk about it, because there are things that are ethically and morally acceptable or unacceptable in society. But then again, the first prize is always, try as much as you can to suspend your judgment until you understand the entire context.
So
Mm-hmm.
Kidimeti says, ladies, life requires us to have goals so we can add on stuff that will give reason to life. Happiness is overrated in this instance. A 30-year-old who has figured herself up dating a young man who is still battling to individuate. I feel it's my responsibility as a parent to shape the thinking towards goals that will carry him in the future. Let go, Kidimeti.
We must stop over timelines.
Okay, so maybe I need, okay, we used one example, but there are many
Ah,
examples where
Yeah.
we as different generations have barriers. We are unable to see each other. So I don't know who has an example of that where you felt like you're not seeing or listening because you think you're older and wiser and better, or because you think you're younger and wiser and better.
So, Mina, what I'm experiencing at the moment, I like wearing short clothes and I have piercings and I have tattoos. So, what I always get is who is going to marry you with all those things? You look like, you know what, you're not going to be a wife material. So, in my head, I'm wondering what is a wife material? What do I need to be like to be considered as a wife material? Do I need to wear long dresses? Do I need to wear a dupe? What exactly is expected from a person to consider them as a wife material?
And
You're
Maite,
right
who's
in
saying
mind,
this? Is
Shanti.
it the
By
women
whose
in church?
standards?
Yes, we
Yeah,
do
Maite,
have
is it
women. Yes, we do
is it
have
church
women in
women?
church.
Yeah.
Yes, women in church, and sometimes you see when you walk past older women in the or like on the streets, they give you that look. Okay, what's happening now? So I get that a lot, especially in the malls. You can see that no, there's a vibe in Yana, but now they don't even they don't get to say it, but you can see that no, something is not connecting. So I
Mm,
just want to
mm.
understand what exactly do we need to do to be considered as wife materials?
Maite, are you comfortable in your short clothes?
Very
Yeah,
comfortable. Very,
good
very, very
question.
comfortable.
Then what I think or anyone can say here doesn't even matter because I think society has molded us to believe that we must suit like have a picture to suit a man, and that's the first like thing. Like we must mold ourselves to suit people so that they love us the way we look and the way we present ourselves. But you are uncomfortable the whole time because you're like,
Mm,
shorty or
mm,
my short skirt. Yeah, no, I have to wear this long thing just so that my man thinks that I'm appropriate. So that's why I'm saying the right person for you will find you, unless even in later in life you decide, I've enjoyed it, I'm changing. But for if you are comfortable, no one else matters. Because we could come and say the perfect makoti with a long dress, but then you're miserable. You're
Yeah.
miserable, you're not comfortable, you're not yourself. So there are rules and ways. Someone can come and say, no, but you must look like this. But it's about you and your comfort. Which later on you discover that actually, yes, it's about me. If someone else gives you a gaze that is inappropriate, isn't right, it's how society is shaped. And we're made to believe that we are the problem. It's got underlying connotations of someone saying, and I'll take it to the extreme. What did you do for him to do that to you? You know, what did you weigh for him to touch you inappropriately, to hit you, whatever it is? Because its focus is never on are you comfortable, are you yourself? The other person is acting in an inappropriate manner that isn't comfortable to you or what works for you. So I think we can answer the Makoti thing. I can answer it for you, but
Yeah.
essentially quality over quantity because the amount of years you'll spend not liking who you are based on trying to be comfortable for someone else, you know.
Yeah, that's true, Mule. That is so true. But again, it's a woman to woman issue, and it's a
mm,
woman of other generations issue. So the people that are talking to you, I don't think if Mule was mogolo wa ko kerekeng, she wouldn't bother you about that. You understand? But because there's a different generation that is there that expects and understands things differently, whether it's religiously, whether it's whatever, and that is what we are talking about to say. The biggest issue is I feel judged by other women the most, more than even men. You know, it's
Mm.
other
Mm.
women who will judge you and tell you that who's
Lindy,
gonna now when you get married and that's your
Mm.
mama's al.
Mm.
No.
Mul,
That's
it's my turn,
Bad
right?
against you.
So,
it.
Yeah.
what Mule has said, if you are comfortable with what you have done for yourself, the piercings, the tattoos,
Mm,
don't be boxed by society. Don't be boxed. If
mm,
Umama did not comment, if Umama did not say, hey, Wena, why are you doing A, B, and C? Then who is the next person? It's not like you are disrespecting other people, but can they respect you for who you are and for what you want? So at the end of the day, if uzothola lo mshado and umamazala wakho has seen what she wanted to see and she's happy with you, then bye. Everybody else must just be quiet. It's your life, it's you and your husband and your family.
Thank you,
Letabo,
Mama.
your side, what have you experienced? These gokos can be a problem. These ones who feel they have arrived at fourth floor, fifth floor.
Hey, when I leave, and especially laba basecaweni
No, I
ngakhona.
think it's similar to my
Labo
day, where
fifth
it's like,
floor.
um,
Letabo,
Litabo, go. Okay, Litabo.
yeah, go Nancy.
I think I'll just come in as representing fourth floor.
it's similar to my day because I don't know if you guys can see, but I've got a piercing on my nose. I've got tattoos on my arms. But yeah, I've honestly been the person who's been like, I'm like in a work environment. I'm like musing umsebenzi. So if you're here to look at my exterior and judge me on that, that's on you. I think I've been, I guess, fortunate enough to have like a very strong backbone, only also because I've experienced like this prejudice at home. People in the family are like, looking at you sideways. So I guess from then, like, I have kind of, developed quite a strong, um, I don't want to say it's confidence, but maybe like a personality type that kind of helps me overlook, what everyone else has to say. And I've also been raised by like, strong black women as well. So that thing of just, you're here, you know why you're here. And if you know why you're here, then anything else is honestly, it's none of your concern. If it doesn't, butter your bread, then let's keep it moving, kind of thing.
Ah, yeah.
But
Well,
you see,
That's, I
you
love
don't
Gen
have
Z just for that.
I
that's
love
so
that,
good.
Litabo. I love that.
I think just to come in, we come from a different background where the child was raised by a community. So what Mama said says goes. It's not only your parent uh, that would reprimand you, and that's it. So I, in my era, I come from that background where we were raised by, um, by a community, and this community mostly were Christians. I'm talking specifically about my family, and it was Christians at home. We were Christians, so that kind of that kind of molded or gave me that sense of you know what to do and you know what you cannot do. For an example, coming home with tattoos or with piercing like that, I know it would have been a big no-no, you know. So when we frown at you at this age and we look at you like, and then it's not because sometimes it's a judgment. I think mostly is the is it's the thing of not. We were getting used to these things. Some of them they knew. I don't think all the time is a judgment, and the judgment is coming from the negative side of things. I think we must also try to. I was talking to the ladies the other day. I was saying to them, I think most important we need to watch our tolerance levels. Tolerance is sometimes associated with a bad word. It's like something that's coming from a bad connotation, but it can be tolerance can be positive in the sense that if we're mindful of our tolerances and we understand and we watch how we behave and we watch how we react to certain things, then that will also help us to be more tolerant to others because we come from different cultures, different backgrounds, different age groups, different upbringing. But if we're mindful about our tolerances, and then we'll be able to deal with life differently. And it will talk to self-awareness, you know. So as long as we are aware who we are, where we come from, we embrace then others, we'll be willing to, because we will understand that yes, they are different and they are, yeah, we are all in this journey and we are all walking in this journey and we are running different races. However, we just need to accept and tolerate each, I think. My 2 cents worth.
Yeah, please tell the others there on that generation you're at. Okay, let's talk about money. Where do we start? Sam,
Yeah. Why am in
Sam,
on the book of making?
money, how do you like when it comes to financial independence or money or anything? What are your beliefs?
I
Well, I
think
was I was told a man must do it. That's how I got married at 21,
you see
22.
that I'm a daughter syndrome. No. I think Musla can say and can she can jump in here. I think our generation of 30s is a generation of independent women. Um, and people the women in their 30s are very independent, and that is also a stereotype that the others have, that you are in your 30s, you are independent. We the generation that said we don't need a man, or we can do anything without a man, but a man must provide for his woman, not everything, but he needs to provide. But for me is we live beyond our means, Lindy. That's the thing. I'm gonna see what Letabo is wearing, and I want that. And that's the thing when it comes to financial independence. So without having an income, or you, without being financially secured, you are looking at other women or what they have, and then you think that okay, Letaba is having that, or Muthla is having that, or Pam is having that. I can also have it, but you're not checking your pockets because you're not in this situation. So for me, is you need to have a passive income first and live in your means and not out of your means. We are also a generation, I'm talking about my specific generation, now 30s, that love, like I went to go and research this, that we are in debt. We are the generation that is mostly in debt. We lived off credit cards. And that's a sad reality, just to fit into society, to wear your Gucci or your Louis Vuitton, which is
Mm.
so wrong.
Mule, you agree?
No, so no, I have the opposite view, but I don't want to go to like um I mean, I agree that this generation is very independent, and as a byproduct of that, there's a shift in, I guess, how we navigate life and adulting and marriages and dating, because there's a shift, right? Because women
Okay.
Okay. I think
Just
Mule
pause.
disconnected.
It's freezing.
All right, we'll get it back.
Mm.
We are
Letabo?
finally being load shedded now.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
oh yeah, you have to say. You did say.
Letabo, how do you guys, what is independence for you, financial?
Um, Honestly, I'm looking to the older generation because I feel like the 20s are probably where you want the most things. You are also probably starting to enter, the working field. So it probably feels like you have the access. But in truth, this is probably the generation that is, probably the poorest in terms of, financial freedom. Also, but on the converse side, we probably have, the richest knowledge in terms of, okay, I know how to get there. I know, that if I want to be a successful XYZ, I need to save, I need to invest, I need to do all of these things. But still, at the end of the day, it's still a desire. It's still very much aspirational. We're also at a stage where, you're earning very entry level, so the things that you want, you can't afford. You have to be very practical with what, you are buying. You have to be, very, yeah, at the end of the day, very practical. So you're living, I want to say, almost hand to mouth. You're saving here and there. If you're saving towards something, then, again, there's that financial literacy where it's like, okay, that you do have to save. You are saving towards something. And you're also taking a lot of risks. I'm in the creative world, so I know that, some opportunities come with, a lot of risk at the end of the day. But again, it's all very aspirational. It is a risk, but the access, the access doesn't necessarily match, the means. So I think that's what I can say about the 20s. Yeah.
That's where the boyfriend allowance comes in. Akere might.
Hey!
Or you two agree, might.
Well, I'm not a person who believes in depending on a man, and the reason for that is because I've seen it with my mom. So my dad was not working. She's the only person who was working at home, and she was still able to provide for the whole family without being judgmental to my father to say, you know what, you are unemployed, you can't provide for your family. She was doing it herself. And what I learned again from my mother was you don't need to earn a big amount to be able to achieve certain things in life. So what I've learned is you just need to be able to spend according to what you can afford. If you can't afford something, don't force yourself into it. And I've been using the same technique since I started working, and it works for me. So if I look and I see that I can afford this, I'm definitely not doing it. However, there's a time I got tempted, when you see people buying things, and you're like, you know what? Let me just check my credit record. Maybe Nani I can qualify for something. So I, I was pressurized. I saw people buying cars, and I was like, you know what? I believe I can actually qualify to buy a car. But I forgot that you can actually qualify to buy something, but you being able to afford is a different topic. So yes, I did qualify to buy that car, but I couldn't afford the car on a monthly basis, which I ended up losing. So I learned the hard way that, you know what, the fact that you have a beautiful credit record that allows you to take certain things doesn't mean you're going to be able to maintain paying for all those things. So where I am now, if I know that I can't be able to afford paying for that on a monthly basis or at that point, I take myself out. I only go for things that I am sure that I can afford. And one of the reasons I don't want to depend on anybody is because people can disappoint you. So if I base my life on a man, then it means when they shift, I'm definitely gonna fall, which I don't want. So if I get somebody who is willing to provide for me, I'm okay, but I should still be able to provide for myself. That's that's where I am at this point.
Yeah, no. Your credit score, I'm sure, is sorted. Because you've had
I
enough
haven't looked
time
at
to
it in a
build it.
while.
You've had enough time to build on it. Either you
Yeah,
are
no,
trusted by the banks or you are not trusted by now. In your 40s, your status
yeah.
must be clear.
No, honestly, I think I stay away from the banks as much as I can. And the reason for that is that I think I have learned from my mistakes in my earlier life. So I'm fine now, but that's why I always encourage people that at whatever age, it doesn't matter whether in your 40s or 50s or 20s or 30s, always try by all means to live within your means, right? And it also doesn't mean that us that are on the fourth floor, people that are in the fifth floor, they have made it and then no, you'll be so surprised how many people in their 40s and 50s that are actually struggling financially. And so I just be, and you'll also be surprised how many people in their 30s that are actually doing very, very well. Because also, if you look at employment and employability, it has changed so much, right? And it's very important that and I also encourage people to also look at multiple streams of income, even if you do have full-time employment, but at some stage try and have and cultivate another skill set, that you can use in your life and not just depend on one income. I mean, how can you commercialize or make money out of maybe a hobby or something that you really enjoy? So that's what I always encourage people that I come across, that attitudes with money is very, very important. So where I am now, yes, yeah, I've been fortunate that I've worked for really great organizations, but I've also made mistakes when it comes to my finances. But I think the fortunate part now is that I think I'm matured enough to know that I'm not easily influenced to look at because this person has a Mercedes Benz or this, and then now I need to get a Mercedes Benz because we do the same job. We are all executives and things like that. No, so it's just really know your lifestyle, live within your means, and just be content in the space that you are, irrespective whatever age that you are at, and then keep it moving. But I think, people that are in their 20s now, in 2024, in their 30s now, in 20, you are actually on fertile ground as far as or just really opportunities that you are exposed to. So it's a matter of really being eager and curious in terms of, how can I actually get myself involved in other spaces and actually create and multi-skill yourself, basically. So that would be my advice. But otherwise, I'm good with the banks.
Nati, so Mara, you guys are not being honest. Who's chowing the men's money then? Because you're all saying independent, what? Is it you, Mule?
Hey, it's the 20s.
Ah, because you're all like
Hi, the
somebody's not
20s.
telling
Hi,
the
you're
truth.
all lying.
Guys,
You
20s.
are.
It's the
All right.
20s, guys. We work
Ah,
so hard for our money.
So before I got cut off, I don't know, I got cut off, but I was saying that I struggled with a lot of with finances because I think my mom and I never sat down and really discussed finances and finances as a woman. And then when I got married, we never discussed like, okay, now you're a married woman and this is how you should navigate certain things because those are also real conversations that we openly don't have as women. And when we're sitting together as a group of either girls or if you're sitting with your mother, I wish I had the opportunity where we could sit down. But I understand that they also didn't have that background, right? Financial conversations have always been uncomfortable for Black people. Um, where we don't sit and say how do you save, like, well, Wazala, how do you put the little cents and rands that you're getting in to make sure that it sustains you and you have an investment when you retire, and like Pam is saying, when you're in your fertile sort of years in terms of career, your late 20s to your 30s, how is it that you can capitalize on those to make sure that you save? So I feel like it's a color thing, where a lot of friends and I can relate to say, Ish, our parents never really sat with us and had a financial conversation, especially mothers, to say, you're married now, do this, we love just having a general blanket statement of, Mosadi, you must keep a pocket where you save things, and then that's it. So you never have any other after that. So I would have loved, as in my 20s, to sit down, and in my, I guess, teens, to sit down with my mom so that when I'm in my 20s and 30s, I understand what is it that I'm working towards. Because sometimes you just feel like you're working. Okay, I'm working, but what's the bigger picture, which I wish they would have had the conversation with us on. But me, I'm the one eating the guy. I don't know about you guys, but men earn more than women, so I don't know.
See, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah,
Come on in.
yeah. Now we get into that conversation.
I'm independent, but not to a man. Yeah.
You see, I was worried because I know most the pressure is on the guys and it's the women, but
Yeah.
you're all saying you are independent. What? Yeah. Natty, you were gonna say?
Yeah, but to what you were saying, I think I agree with you. I think we missed that part where we could have had a good relationship with our mother about finances. That could have helped us. I'm saying that from my own experience as well. I've just learned recently that I needed to understand my emotions and my relationship with emotions and my finances because I think that part has been lacking for a long time and I was not paying attention to it. And I think it's very important to understand your relationship between emotions and finance. There's a saying that goes, money make, what's the saying? Money makes happiness or something like that. Yeah, yeah, and what emotions are we attaching to money, do we buy, so if we can be very mindful with that and understand it every time we spend money or we have money or we want money, that relationship is important to be clear and to understand it, so that when we spend and when we're not spending and we're saving, why we're saving. I come from my mom was a teacher, and obviously teachers then they didn't earn that much, and the only thing you'd get even if you want something is to anamali, ayikho imali. And that thing it gets instilled in you so much that your relationship with money now and the emotions that's attached to it, it's at that level. But not in any bad way to badmouth our parents. I mean, they did what they could with the little that they had. But going back to that conversations that says if we had the good relationships and a very open relationship, I mean conversations with our parents, with money and finances, then would have handled money differently.
Okay, so I guess
I always
it's all of our responsibility then, Ishi, then, because we can't expect it from. We've got some experience, so any other person may have to do it.
hmm, I always maintain that, and that is how I used to teach my boys when I was raising them, that okay, respect money and money will respect you back, right? And at the end of the day, I've always got that in the back of my mind when I always used to go shopping with the boys. Mudise would always ask, my older son would always ask, is it a need or is it a want? So if it's a
Mm.
need, then you will get it. If it's a want, put it in on the back burner. And by so doing, you actually have that mindset that when I have it, I will use it. However, only for the most important things. Because now we also need to take cognizance of the fact that I need to teach them as well how to save their money, and with the little that they get, put it somewhere where you know it's there for rainy days. Don't just go ahead and spend money willy-nilly, because at the end of the day, if there isn't, what are you going to do without? Who is going to help you? Because not everybody has got a 10,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 rand just lying around when you need assistance. So it's very, very important to have that in mind, to be mindful that you respect your money and your money will respect you back. You save the little that you get and it will, grow in return. That's my two
Okay,
cents.
okay. So, okay, so the 30s are chowing the men's money, the 40s, you're good,
Mm.
50s and 60s, you've learned your
We're
lesson. And
saving, Lindy. We're
We
saving.
say we say
oh, you're saving your money and
yeah.
using someone else's money. The 20s are the brokest generation.
Huh?
No money. You don't have enough money, very much in debt. You wish you can, and that's where the pressure is. But we're saying at least if you can get that conversation to understand how, but it feels to me like for both of you, you are already coming into that understanding that I don't have to have everything and I can be okay with waiting until I get something else. Okay. Mental health and aging. Why are you stressing, Mike?
Yo.
Yo,
It's all we
oh,
can say since we finished.
Who's more stressed? Who's more stressed than the others? Because we kind of like, we're all
I
stressed.
think no, not stressed. So I feel like 30s are the like that pinnacle. Like I look at 40-year-olds, I'm like, yo, I can't wait. You're just to feel some sort of relief from what I'm going through because what is this? But I feel like 30s, truly, truly the true goal, not the 20s goal, the true mental sort of well-being and state, it hits you at 30. Because now you're like, yeah, now I'm an adult. Yeah, no. There's no one to hold me or to shield me from life's sort of situation. So it's the peak of I explain it by saying it's either you embrace what you're going through or not, you suffer for the rest of your life. Because 30 calls for you to do certain things so that the rest of your life is sort of like, easier to walk. Not saying that it won't have its challenges, but you understand that, oh, okay, I must go through these certain things in order for life to make sense at 40 and 50 and 60. I don't know.
I, was- I was more stressed in my 20s. I was more stressed in my 20s. Those
But I
children that
think
I
it's
was,
environment, children, husband, I agree.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. So both, for you and I, both 20s and then 30s are like you made the decision. Okay, in my 30s, I'm gonna get divorced. So that's also another stress. Mental health is even worse at that point because now you're like, I'm starting from scratch. Like I'm saying, like, what do I do with myself? I can't imagine what do you do with yourself, you know? So I don't know. I feel like 30 is that.
Do you know what, guys? What I have realized now that the company that I work for, you on your birth month, you need to go, right? I mean, I was quite fortunate. The people that I'm working with let me stay on, until the end of the year. And talking about mental health, um, for me at my age, this is where I'm now really, really very, very concerned about what am I gonna do next year? Okay, because I am I'm a very active person because my mindset is I'm wired in such a way that I wake up in the morning, I go to the gym, I go to work, I come back, I do A, B, and C. And, I've got a group of lady friends that, we're very, very close. And, we share ideas, this, that, and the other. And, and I think now, what's going to happen next? I feel that for me, I do not want to be taken care of by my children. I've got money that I've invested that I can live from. However, what am I going to do with my time? So that is something that is now on the high agenda khona manje because angifuni ukuthi ngizohlanya mase ngihleli la ekhaya angifuni ukuhlala. I need to get something to do. And that is, my worry because when I go to sleep at night, it's sort of like, rewinds in my head as to girl uzoyenzani. You understand? So
Yeah.
from a mental point of view, mental well-being, it also starts with you, the individual.
Mm.
So yeah, no, I need to, something has to happen.
And
So
I can
20s,
get,
30s,
I can
40s,
understand.
guys, take it easy. Take it easy. I think you guys are also putting a lot of pressure on yourselves. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of taking it easy, quite honestly.
I agree
And
with you.
Sam, what
I
do you
think,
say?
oh, okay.
Oh, you can speak.
Oh, I was saying, Mama is actually having nice stress. I mean, you're stressing about what you're gonna do, but you have money. I mean, you can go out for spa, you can go for vacations if you have money. But for us in the 20s now, we are stressing about what are you going to eat the following day. You do have a lot of things to do, but you wonder, how am I going to get through the day with like the little time that I have? I'm going to make an example. I'm working, I go to school, there are other things that I do. And with all that, I don't have enough finances. Like my finances are not in a good space. So now it's a stress of I don't have enough time in my plate to do all the things that I need to do. And again, financially, I'm not okay. So that's the stress that I'm actually facing on a daily basis. Ukuthi, I'm still trying to figure out life for myself, and I don't have money to do the things that I need to do. So if I'm gonna be like you when I get to my 60s, then I really want to get there quicker, because if I'm gonna stress, what am I gonna do? But when I have money, then you know what? I'll just see when I wake up where I wanna go, because I have money to do whatever that I need to do.
Pam?
Yeah, no, I think mental health is relative, right? Just depending on where you are in your journey. So, and not so much really with age, you know. So we all have our joys, but we also have those certain things, to Maite's point, that keep us awake at night. To what degree just depends where you are in your journey, you know. So Esha
True.
is worried about what is she going to do next year. Maite is worried about your, you know, am I going to have food the next 2 days, or you know, just because around the circumstances, you know. So some of us that are entrepreneurs, we worried about, sure, am I going to have work in the next 3 months? You know, that sort of thing. So you just really have to be conscious around, you know, what is going on in your life, and you know where you need support. Do you know where to go for support? It might not be financial support all the time, it might not be, but you know, I think it's very important that you try as much as you can to surround yourself with people that you know that are progressive, that you know that even if they don't give you financial help, but they might give you mentorship, they might give you coaching, they might give you moral support, they might encourage you, even in terms of stay on the course. To your point, Mighty, you are studying, like, I'm 29, I'm still studying. And then a lot of comments just from this discussion alone, it's been saying that, you know what, keep on keeping on, you're on the right path. You will wake up a year or 2 years from now and you'll be done, and you like, you'll be totally on a different space. So I think really mental health comes then with, if you recognize where you are and what are your coping mechanism, who it is that you need to talk to. Most people really go through depression and anxiety and all of these things because they may be in spaces where they might believe at that point in time that they can't get any help of any shape or form, and they feel hopeless at a specific point. So I also find that, getting to talk about what's bothering you with people that you trust in your immediate circles, it also helps, to get you through the day, to get you through the week, through the month. And, I was also in a totally different space last year. I was starting my entrepreneurship journey. I was just looking, I was worried about where is work going to come from. And then a year later, it's like, I've got work coming out of my ears. So just mainly because I knew who to talk to, who to tap into in terms of networks, business connections, and things like that. So life is a journey. You evolve as a person. So where you get into a space where you feel like, I'm getting depressed, I'm getting worried, don't wallow in that space. Yes, it's okay to cry for a bit, a day, but then dust yourself off, talk to someone, and keep moving. The trick is just to keep moving, and not giving up. It gets difficult, but just keep moving and tap into the correct support network as well, because there are other those people that may actually then, if you talk to the wrong people, they may end up discouraging you. So know who to talk to at a specific point in time in your journey. So that's really what I can say.
I agree, Pam. I think it just never stops. You're in your 20s, you're stressed about one other thing. I think I was saying the
Yeah,
same thing to my brother on Friday. Like
yeah,
once you're an adult, your problems don't end. They just evolve. They just move from one to another. So you can't at your first issues think, because you gotta figure it out so that you know next time what you did the last time. They just change from one to
yeah.
another. It depends on where you are, but yeah, it just depends on where you are, and also just remembering how you did it the last time, how you need to do it the next time, and so forth. So we are all stressed. That's
We are
it.
all
But
going
but
through a
No
lot.
one is more stressed than other because
yeah.
Mm,
others
Mm.
will say, "Oh, you guys are young. You don't have problems. You don't have issues." They do have concerns. There's concerns. Or you may feel like, oh, you're older, you've made it in life, or you have the
Mm-mm.
money or whatever,
No,
and that means you're okay. There's fears, and that's what
no.
exactly what came out to say. Everybody has their own, so there's no thinking that one person or another person is better off than the other because they don't have stress or anything. We're like 2 minutes after 9, so we have to wrap up. Question to everybody: what do you expect from another woman or another woman of another generation? Any, you can pick any. Let's start with Ishi and go down.
Um, I must be honest with you, less judgment and, embrace each other as women and complement each other and support each other, especially women in leadership, women in business. Let us help each other to get to the top. Let us not use the PhD syndrome, the pull him down syndrome. Let us connect with each other and let us help each other. I'm looking at my day that is very, very worried as to, what is going to happen next. The type of support and the network that we create as females, let us give each other that necessary support and leverage off each other's strengths and not pull each other down.
mm,
I agree. I agree. I
yeah,
always ask people to subscribe to my
mm,
channel, and they just look at me like, even if you don't watch, can you just support me? Pam also has
mm,
a YouTube channel. Can you please subscribe to Pam's one? Mule
mm,
also is a cook now. Sell
mm.
is an author, wrote a book. Can we just buy it? Okay, put it on the
Yes,
shelf. Buy it.
yes,
Yes.
yeah. Support.
You'll cook later when you are 60. Just buy it for now.
Mm.
Oh, Natty.
I think I wouldn't pick any generation per se, but just to say, as women, we need to support each other. We need to build strong networks. They say the quality of our lives will be determined by the quality of relationships that we have. I think it's important to build strong relationships, and relationships, it doesn't have to be with our own peers. I mean, in my journey, I had good relationships with older women, and I also had younger women as well. Just have the variety. Make sure that you connect at all levels, and you don't put yourself in a box. As women, we need to understand each other. We need to really support each other. I think, as well as we understand each other better. It's amazing that we are nasty to each other and yet we understand each other better. Different generations, we might see things differently. We just need to be patient with each other and learn as we go along, and try to make each other understand. uh, we are here to support each other. I think it's important that we understand it. We go through life in different phases in life. but we must know that we've got people that we can count on.
Okay. Pam is next, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think I'll just close it off by just saying, collaboration over competition,
Mm.
So we ladies, we are tired of this unhealthy competition that is so unnecessary. Yo, hi guys. you know I don't even know what to say,
Mm.
so I think I make it a point, every time wherever I appear in the spaces where I appear, to just reinforce this point that collaboration over competition. I mean, this is a perfect example. Most of us on this call, we're meeting each other for the first time,
Mm.
and we're coming together to support Ulindiwe, and and we didn't have to, right? And it's a Sunday evening,
Mm.
and so those are the things that I'm talking about. That it won't hurt you to just light another candle. Your candle won't burn out because I lit
Mm.
Lindy West candle today.
Mm.
And then maybe now that I know about my test story and another person's story. So wherever I go, because I've got, because I've been, fortunate to interact in really, really progressive communities.
Mm.
So I might, if I do have contacts, I might ask Lindo, whatever happened to Maite, there's something
Mm.
like this, maybe
Mm.
she can get involved in one, two, three. So those are the type of things that we're talking about, because I also don't believe that, there are no coincidences in life, right? I don't believe that you meet people just for the sake of meeting people. I think you meet people along your journey at a specific point because there's a reason from a divine power for you to be at this point in your life right now. Yeah,
Mm.
so I think, Lindy, where maybe you do not delete the group that we've started, we might call it something else, just with the aim of just really, some of us that are in really powerful networks
Mm.
can actually connect the younger ones that, still need to build a social capital, because that's what we call it, right?
Yeah.
So that they can, tap into those, things and see how they can get help where they need to get help either next month or next year. I don't know. But I just believe that if you connect people in certain networks, it's easier then for them to navigate and find their way, rather than if they are on their own. Right.
Mm.
So that's me.
Mule, thanks, Pam.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What was the question again?
Hey, hey,
It's
hey,
easy to
hey.
miss the question because I've said so many things.
What would you like to say to any other women or any generation specifically or not specifically?
Yeah, I
In your
think everyone
closing.
rings true. Everyone that's spoken has rung true to what I believe. And um, right now, in my 30s, I'm struggling a lot with friendships and relationships. So I guess it's that learning which bridges to burn and which ones to walk over peacefully, and how that will help you in life moving forward, right? So, in our 20s and early 30s, we're very like volatile, very emotional, very, but
Yeah,
in learning that we all need each other. And giving each other grace is very important. So to the next woman, above what everyone else has said, is learn to give the next person grace, because in as much as we're all sitting here, we all have something that we are dealing with or facing. And I think as women, we forget that. So learning to give each other grace in whatever age groups we're in, and coming together to say, this person, do I really want to build this bridge and make sure that it stands, which you'd hope for. But learning which bridge should I burn and not move forward with, because you understand that people around you, which is Pam spoke about it, Nancy spoke about it, and Ursula, the people that you keep around are going to be there to give you advice, to help you later in life, to build for community. So learning which people you should be around and need to be around, and learning to give each other grace and work together. So yeah,
Yeah.
those are my 2 cents.
Yeah, I'm hoping you don't burn any bridges. I hope with the conversations we have, We never have to
Yeah.
talk about burning a bridge. And because we betrayed each other or,
Mm,
broke trust, I hope it's for other reasons,
mm,
because I think what we want to do is, if you feel the relationship is over, walk away. Don't corrupt it
mm,
or whatever.
mm, mm.
So hope not. Sam?
A- And it's good to, sorry, Sam, and I think it's also good to
Yes,
accept the fact that you are going to lose other relationships and be fine with that. Fine to
Mm,
walk away to other relationships. Don't hold on
Mhm.
to childhood friendship and what. You are going to lose those. You lose some and you move with some. A certain life, I mean, in your life stages, you would have different people that you're going to be moving with. Just be fine with that and accept it. It's not anything wrong with you or you've done anything wrong to them, as long as it's not burning bridges, as long as it's just for peace sake and for your peace, move away. And if they're not good for
mm,
you at that time, they're not good. You don't feel guilty. We're trying, that's what I'm trying to get to. Be okay
mm,
with that, because you are going to lose some. Yeah.
true. Sam, I think it was your turn.
Oh, okay. For me, it's important to have a tribe. In this case, sisterhood. And I'm just echoing on what Pam said, that we need to learn how to fostering mentorship, also to nurture a culture of empowerment, be there for one another, support each other as women. That is what I
Mm.
can say to all the women of the generations.
Sisterhood.
Okay, thanks, Sam. Maite, I think Lata was struggling with her connection.
Mm.
Okay,
From your side,
from
Maite?
me, it's for all the women, just to say, let's be kind to one another. I think as women we go through a lot, and sometimes we don't even say, you wouldn't know that I'm going through a lot by just looking at me. So
Mm.
just being kind to one another is going to be very helpful. I'm just going to make an example. Sometimes you look at somebody and you see them maybe having a big belly, and you be judgmental to them and say, oh, this person is maybe fat, they don't eat
Mm.
healthy. Until you don't know, maybe this person just lost a baby. That's why
Mm.
they are where they are. So instead of making negative comments, just be kind. And if you don't
Mm.
know what's happening in somebody's life, you don't have to make any comments. So
Mm.
be kind and avoid making unnecessary comments, because you don't know what happened or what's happening in somebody's
Mm.
life.
True.
True. Somebody did say kindness can never get out of fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
yeah.
It's
So I
true.
think we've lost the table. But I think from me, thank you. I think the point is made to say we are all in the same space. Doesn't matter what generation we're in.
Mm.
We are experiencing the same things, just different context, different rhythm, different everything. You see, so there is no need to be hostile, like we were saying. Be kind, be thoughtful, lend
Mm.
an ear, or compliment one another and help one another. I find it difficult these days. I see also we don't greet one another. We just pass, we just look at each other, size each other
You.
up, and and it's like, woo, so it's quite a problem, and I think that's what set in to say, but how do we do this? Today I flew from Cape Town, and next to me sat a very young boy. He's in grade 5. That child was the kindest person to me as an adult,
Mm.
because he came in, hi, and he just started chatting. He just started chatting. Do you think we're gonna arrive on time because we were late? And things like that. And he started telling me, oh no, Monday, I'm not looking forward to going to school tomorrow. I'm studying this. And I wanted to sleep, ne? Mara, he fought to eventually to look at him, have a conversation with him, and he was kind. And it just
Mm.
reminded me to say, I was just going to sit here next to this other lady and just close my eyes and not even say hi or whatever. So I see it in me. I see it happening everywhere where we just move on and not say anything. So the point is made. We are all women, all in our different spaces. And yeah, let's have I see you back. Do you want to say your last word?
Sure. Thank you so much, ladies. I enjoyed this conversation. I think my last words would just be that you can't give something that you don't have. So I think for myself, it's also been very, it's a good reminder to not put so much pressure because I don't have the um all of the expectations that I have of myself as yet. But it's a journey. It's really about connecting and learning the lessons from people that we meet and um not expecting my too much of myself that that I'm not even enjoying where I'm at now. So yeah, that's all.
Great. So thank you so much. We'll keep the group going, please. We are gonna be the pioneers. We're going to have to. Not everybody subscribes to being what we are talking about, so we're going to have to collect more people into what we're saying. Keep an open mind. Respect the next person. Don't do this. Do that. Create a network and all of that. We're gonna have to be those people that are just pioneering and reminding each other to say, I think we were being too harsh there. Maybe just go back and apologize, or maybe do it differently. Kind of that thing. And it's not about us only, just everybody around us, the way we see that uh, we could have done better. Even if we know better, sometimes we don't do better. But when we can rectify that. So thank you so much, ladies. I love, 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 love all of you. Actually, also in your
Thank
load
you.
shedding, either UPS is working.
I didn't
You never lost a load shedding, I'm telling you.
We're
So it
trying.
is.
yeah.
So thank you so much. I love you so much. It is saying Shem, don't worry. It is saying Jesus is her redeemer. Otherwise, I
Yes.
think people would know her by name. It's mentally
Oh
heavy.
yeah. Oh, imagine.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, don't worry. It's heavy everywhere, and I think we just need to extend grace to each other.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Gratitude.
yes.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, ladies,
Thank you,
and good
ladies.
Thank you
night.
so much. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you,
Thank you
Thanks,
so
ladies.
much.
ladies.
Thanks, everyone. Good
Bye.
evening.
Yeah.
Bye. Take
Thank you.
care.
Thanks.
Good
Bye. Thanks,
night.
Lindy. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Lindy. Bye.
Bye.